Hey, how you doing, YouTube? It's Mr. John Zion here, and I'm back again for a video. But this video, I really want to talk about why should you know Jesus? Why should you know God? Why should you get your life together? Why are people always on you for knowing Christ? Why I'm always on online trying to tell you about the Lord, and why I just don't leave you alone, and why I just don't just let you live your life and do what you want to do. And that's what people ask me. Why are you concerned about me? Why do you keep harping on me? I may be an atheist. I may be homosexual. I may be just somebody who's not living right. Why don't you just let me just go ahead and just live my life the way I want and just leave me alone? That's what I hear people say, and they ask this question. They really want to know why I continue to be the way I am and say what I want to say. Because you know why? Because there was a point in time in my life when I was like you. There's a point in time in my life where I was separated from God like you are. There's a point in time in my life where I turned my back on God like you did and are doing. And so I know where you are. Whether you're an atheist, a homosexual, a non-believer, or a believer in some other God, I've been there because I was separated from God. And in that time of my life, I was the most miserable, most frustrated, most alienated from people. I just didn't understand even why I was even born. Because, all I was running from one trouble to next trouble, one problem to next problem, one situation, next situation. Every time I think I had it going on, I would fall right back down to I had nothing. And that's where I was. I didn't know how to pray. I didn't know how to believe God. I didn't know what to expect from God. I never even thought about God. When I was in trouble, I just thought about, myself. That's all. I just thought about, the bottle, or alcohol, or sex, something of this world to heal the problem the world has caused. See, I was running back to the world to heal the problem of the world. That's how crazy it was. The world situations, the world circumstances frustrated me and it hurt me, but yet instead of running to the person that could fix it, I always ran back to the world, the one who did it. When I was upset, I drank. When I was angry, I smoked. When I was frustrated and lonely, I had sex. I ran back to man for man-made problems, and that's what most of y'all are doing. When you have problems, you're running back to the source of the problem. And that's another man or another woman. In one way or other, your problem comes from a man or from a woman. So I was there. It's a vicious cycle. It's a vicious cycle. It's a cycle that keeps you running until the point where you just don't want to live no more, to the point you make mistakes that you can't recover from, to the point you die, and you'd be happy to be dead because life has been so hard and so rough. And the first thing I always did was I always blame God. I always blame God, no matter what happened, good or bad. Not good, but bad. Good, I'm supposed to have good. I deserve good. But bad, yeah, always, man, it can't be no God. I'm not gonna pray to God. I can't believe there's a God that this happened to me. I can't believe there can't be no God. He ain't no God. It ain't no God. That's when that's what I used to say. Ain't no God. It's just my figure, my imagination. Because there was no God. Because no God would let things happen to me that happened to me. No God would let things in this world happen the way they happen. No God could stand by and watch this happen. And that's how I was frustrated because I couldn't see a God letting people die like that. I seeing babies die. I seeing people, serve them then dying. People in the church was dying. And I couldn't understand that. And that's where you are right now. If there's a God, why is there so much hunger in the earth? Why is there so much betrayal in the earth? Why is there so much devastation and just devastation in the earth? Why is that there's a God? Why are people starving? Why are people have heart attacks? Why are people retarded? Why are people living such a hard life and starving in Africa? Why is that if there's a God? And that's what I asked myself. And that's why I was frustrated, like you, about God. But it wasn't until I took the time to start learning about this God I was accusing. It wasn't until I took the time to start reading about the God that I thought didn't exist. It wasn't until I started to know Christ. It's when I start to understand the ways of this world. When I start to know Christ and understand that God don't dictate my thoughts, God don't dictate my actions, God don't make me do nothing, that everything I do and have done has been my own decision, then I'm going to face my own consequences. Because if I'd have read the Bible before I made 90% of my decisions, I wouldn't have did it that way. I wouldn't have did it that way. If I'd have knew God before I made those decisions, I read the Bible and let the Bible guide me, I wouldn't have been in all the trouble I've been in. I wouldn't have been in all the mess and all the heartache and heartbreak and the crime and the destitute I was in. See, the Bible had the answer all the time, but I just never took time to read it. God had the answer all the time, but I never took time to know Him. I just went on the cuff of my head, not knowing all the time if I'm not with God. Guess who controlling me? If God ain't controlling you, the devil controlling you. One and the other. You ain't controlling yourself. The moment you think you're controlling yourself, you're demonically controlled. You're demonically controlled. The moment you think you make your own decisions, you make your own mind up, guess what? If God ain't in it, the devil in it. And that's why you always in your own decisions turn out to be garbage. That's why you're always crying. That's why you're always drinking and smoking and getting high and trying to find something out this pain that you put yourself in. Then want to blame God. But if you read that Bible and you start learning to pray like I learned to pray, you start to believe in Christ like I believe in pray, my steps will now be ordered by God. And in my steps, there's peace now. In my steps, there's joy now. In my steps, there's hope now. In my steps, there's prosperity now. In my steps is my destiny now. See, because I'm stepping now. I'm not just running amok and running wild back and forth from club to club, from bottle to bottle, and alcohol to alcohol. Now I'm watching my steps. My steps are ordered by the Lord. If I receive His orders, my steps are going to bring peace and joy and love in my life. And that's what I was missing. That's what I was missing. Not running to and fro trying to find something that can't be found in this earth. You know, I only wanted peace, joy, and happiness in my whole life. Those are three things I wanted: peace, joy, and love. I wanted them. But guess what? Ain't none of those things in this earth. They're not here. There's no peace on this earth without Christ. There's no joy on this earth without Christ. There's no love on this earth without Christ. It's just not here. If you don't believe me, ask the old folks who've been looking for the same thing for 80 years, and they'll tell you that if they ain't found Jesus, they still ain't found no peace or joy. It's a delusion that the world promises you but never gives you. But until I start knowing Christ, until I start investigating myself, until I open my heart up and let God come in, I was just like you. I was just like you. Why my marriage ain't working? No Jesus. Why my job ain't working? No Jesus. Why my family ain't working? No Jesus. Why I can't get my life together? No Jesus. You know, you can run around and do everything you want to do, but I can guarantee you one thing: you're never going to find peace in your life. You're never going to find purpose in your life unless you get God in your life. It's just not going to happen. There's a place in your heart, right like this, that's made just for God, and nothing can fill it. No alcohol can fill it. No drug can fill it. No woman, no man, no sex, no intelligence can fill that void that's in your heart. But you'll keep reaching, and the sad matter, most of you will keep reaching till you die not knowing God. And the shame of it is that when you die, then you're going to see God. Then you're going to see the very creature that you rejected. Then you're going to see the very love that you pushed aside. Then you're going to see the very person that wanted to save you. You're going to see him face to face. And guess what? The Bible said, you reject me, I'm going to reject you. That's what the Bible says. If you reject me, I'm going to reject you. And that's what most of you are going through right now. Because you're too smart, but yet you know nothing. You're too intelligent, yet you don't even know we don't know anything. We're just children down here trying to make it through. We think we're so smart. We went to school, but what school do you think that can comprehend the universe? What school can comprehend how your body was created? What school can comprehend how your brain works? None of us knows that. But yet we want to depend on everything that what we think, knowing that we only been on this earth for less than a flash of a wink of an eye. If you know how long the earth been here, you know how long you live here, you've been here about this long. That's it. But yet you think you know everything about God and about things. What you don't know is that Christ loves you. And what you don't know is that Christ wants to save you. And what you don't know is that Christ is on your side. You in your whole life rejecting the very one that can save you, that can deliver you, that can help you your whole life, pushing away the one that can show you the real meaning of life. It's not about a job. It's not about a car. It's not about a 401k plan. Not about a wife. It's about qualifying where you're going to spend eternity once you leave this earth. Are you going to qualify for heaven or not going to qualify? That's what the whole purpose of life is. This is just to be qualifying stages on earth. We're going to live after we live here. Either you're going to live with God or you're going to live without God. With God is in heaven. Without God is hell. Make it sound like a fairy tale. Make it sound like a joke, but that's what it's all about. So I was like you. That's why I gotta keep telling you, because I don't want no one to suffer the fate that you're gonna suffer. It's unreal how much pain you're gonna suffer. And I don't want the devil to win you no more. So I'm asking you today, trust God. Trust him. And watch him show up in your life. Trust him. And watch him be everything you call him to be. Trust him. And you'll understand why I'm on YouTube every day.